evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't think I'll cry, but if I do, fair warning. So my time at Hamilton began long before the first day of my freshman year. It was when I was a child, running around at my brother's football games, curled up in the bleachers, or impatiently bouncing on my mother's lap during long award ceremonies. Many of my teachers recalled this fact, stopping roll call the first day to marvel at the fact that I was actually in high school. And yes, I am the last Menden. For the past 15 years, Hamilton High has practically been an extension of my home and family. The familiar buildings, faculty, and much of the community. Many of us graduating here today have had a similar experience and connection to Hamilton as I have. If we were the younger of our family to attend Hamilton, our siblings were either gracious enough to leave us with a glowing legacy coming into high school, or were mischievous enough to have us ducking our heads for the first few months of freshman year. For those who were the first or only to attend Hamilton, it was a blank slate. Our reputation could really go either way. These past 4 years have been a desperate scramble to either uphold a reputation, escape one, or make our own name. But regardless, high school is a time when many feel the pressure to fit in somewhere, anywhere. But tonight, that pressure to fit into someone else's box is lifted. While we cherish the bonds of friendship that we have made here at Hamilton, we will go on to meet people outside of our 288 peers, people with the same interests, ideas, and values, with whom we can be completely and confidently ourselves. As our class motto states, forever starts tonight. For each and every graduate sitting here tonight, this day marks the next stage in our life. However, I would argue that forever started when we took our first steps, went to kindergarten, and made our first friends. As we look back at the last 4 years, they are just as important as the next 40 going forward. High school graduation is not the end of our lives, nor is it the very beginning. Our lives have already begun. The exciting part, though, is that we are the ones who will decide what course our life will take from here and who we want to be going forward. This is simply the beginning of a new era in our lives, one where some of us will go on to move miles away, while others will stay local. We'll have to figure out how to balance the checkbook, and heaven forbid, we might actually have to learn how to cook. We should not view high school as the end of a long and treacherous journey, although it may feel like it, but rather as the first of many great accomplishments and new beginnings that lay in store. As we move on to the next phase in our lives, it is important to recognize those who have helped us to get here, because as much as we might like to think it, none of us would be standing here today without the help of someone. Like our teachers, who pushed us to do our best, made exceptions when they were needed, and let us fail when necessary. I think that most of us here can thank Mr. Brown for that college budget project. I would have cried if I had to decode student loans and FAFSA by myself. Shout out to you, Brownie. We have our friends who, for many of us, play a key role in our support system. Whether you are a group of 5 inseparable girls or just have that one friend who has always been there, we each have a friend on this stage. Someone who has been there to hold our hand when it was needed and to share in the joy of our successes. And last, but certainly not least, we have our parents and guardians to thank. Obviously, we wouldn't be here without them. I think Ms. Peterson would agree that biology doesn't quite work that way. But more than that, we wouldn't be here on this stage without them. They have been our coaches, managers, and our biggest fans, cheering us on every step of the way. They have cooked our meals, missed us while we have been constantly gone for every club and sporting event you can think of, and pinned buttons on our softball jerseys the day that it was due. I remember when my mom congratulated me on my first B on my progress report, although I didn't exactly share her enthusiasm. But that was one of the best ways that my parents could show their support, by letting me know that it's okay to not be perfect. Mom, Dad, you're the most amazing parents I could ever ask for. You have raised me right, teaching me integrity and hard work, and loving me when I could not love myself. I would also like to take a moment to remember and honor my brother Todd. Many of those in the faculty and community will remember him and know him for how truly special he was. While his time with us was cut short, he will always hold a special place in our hearts. My fellow classmates, the future that lays ahead of us is uncertain and never guaranteed, but it is filled with limitless possibilities and countless outcomes. That is both an exhilarating and daunting thought. Take advantage of that uncertainty, seize the day, do things that others can only dream of doing. What and if are 2 words as non-threatening as words can be, but put them together side by side and they have the power to haunt you for the rest of your life. What if? And yes, I did just quote letters to Juliet. Don't leave yourself with any what ifs in your life. Try new things. take chances, and never let anything with anyone go unresolved. Because we never know what tomorrow will hold, and eventually, all we will have are yesterdays. I challenge you, class of 2015, to find your passion. Find what you love, what drives you to succeed, and run with it. Let it take you further than you can ever imagine, to heights yet undiscovered. Look to the future with confidence in your abilities, but never forgetting the things that we have learned from the past. I believe that each and every one of us are gifted with unique skills, talents, and abilities, and are capable of amazing things. I've seen it in these past few years getting to know you, every one of you, and I will miss all you this year, but they will be remembered. The rest of our lives is waiting for us. We just have to be brave enough to leap forward and begin. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2015.